This is like pretty much.
What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It's your
eye stuff, you know, with like tools and whatnot. More. 20 eggs left. So, hi, little dude. Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I was expecting a little intro there. I don't know if it played on your end or not, but it did not for me.
I did see it. Yeah, it was awesome.
You did? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight.
No,
and everyone, welcome to the ChamGirl podcast. This is Connor.
Hi, guys.
So, you have vended with Show Me's, haven't you?
I have. I don't do it very often.
Okay. Because I thought you mentioned that before, that you had actually vended with Show Me's. And you're in Arkansas?
I'm in Central Arkansas, right outside Little Rock.
Okay. These are pretty down there, actually. I've been there a long time ago. It's really, really pretty.
It is pretty down here. I mean, I will give it that. I think I'm ready to kind of maybe leave, but just go somewhere new. But I mean, I will say Arkansas. I've traveled a lot, and Arkansas is probably one of the more prettier states. I do love the Virginias, though. Virginia is very pretty.
Oh, it's real pretty. I kind of lived in Arkansas, like a little bit. I don't know if it really counts, like, because my backyard was Missouri-Arkansas state line.
Sure, it counts. You're in Arkansas.
That's Omaha when I was going to college of the Ozarks. So.
Yep, I actually sang when I was in choir in high school. We did like all these tours, so I've sang there before.
You sang at C of O?
Uh-huh.
That's right. You did mention that. Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah, they had quite the choir going on there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't vend as much as, unfortunately, a lot of the Show Me reptile shows fall on drill weekend. So
yeah,
I don't get to vend.
I like vending. Do you miss vending at all, or is it like?
I do like vending, but what's unfortunate and fortunate for me is I do really well through like Facebook and Instagram selling out, and so most of the time it's more of like I get kind of like a meet and greet, and I just get to hang out with a lot of my reptile friends, and so for me it's just like I'll go support the Herp Society or like some of our local rescues. But for me, I generally I do a lot of TikTok and filming when I'm there, and I don't vend as much. Now, here coming up soon, with our wildlife program, we will probably be doing more of like the educational vending booth, not so much selling. We'll still promote Russvegas, of course, but like Zoodiu is kind of more of what's taking off for us now, and the whole educational side of thing is more of my passion versus producing a whole bunch of babies, which I love. I love seeing their little faces pop out. And I mean, I love that part. But the educational side for me is really more where it's at. But we will still vend in the future. I probably need to be out of the military, which I have 2 years left.
That for your little time. About for your little time. What branch are you in? And of course, thank you for your service.
Thank you. So I am in the Army. I'm in the National Guard. I'm in aviation. So I'm actually a 15 Tango, which is a Black Hawk mechanic, and I'm on flight status. So I'm actually a Black Hawk crew chief, and I'm in my 10th year now.
10 years. Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. So how often are you gone?
So in aviation, especially like in the National Guard and reserves, like I don't just drill 1 weekend a month. I actually go throughout the week, several times a month, to maintain flight status, whether that's nighttime flights under NVGs, daytime, whether we go on, there's several like state missions that we do. So I'm so far like not a weekend warrior. I like now that I'm back from my 2 weeks from the summer, I had a week off because I did so many of my Zoodius. Now I need to go back in and fly because I have to have so many hours a month and so many hours.
How do you do all that? that, and then also reptiles. How do you? I mean, when you're gone, is somebody helping you? At least, like.
My wife can do a little.
Okay, good.
And I do actually have a student helper. So she tries to come out on Tuesdays. And so she does a lot of water bowls. She does a lot of spot cleaning. So she wipes glass,
Nice.
like, so she's 10, she'll be 11 soon. And yeah, that's what she does. So she's my little helper, and she loves it. So, but I'm starting to acquire things that Whitney is not super comfortable with. So I have to train her.
Or venomous?
So the only thing technically venomous I have is like my false water cobras.
Okay.
So other than that, I don't keep anything medically significant here. I do have a 2-year-old, so it's like and the snake room is still kind of attached to the house. It's not like all the central HVAC is the same, so nothing can get out of it. It is a snake-proof room, but right now,
That's
probably nothing crazy.
No. What's she a little uncomfortable with right now? What is it now?
Pardon?
What snakes did you say that you have now that she's kind of like,
So Malaysian red-tailed green rat snakes. I actually have a snake I have not shown off at all.
Really?
I'll get her out. I'll just get her.
Okay, now I'm excited. I see one right back there. That looks really pretty. I just have my one snake. Just one.
Yeah, we got to get you some more. So I have not shown her off to literally anyone yet. So
Okay, this is exciting.
This is our new. It's okay, Mama. It's okay. She's new. So this is our Dominican red mountain boa. So she's still not fully her adult colors, and her mom is like razorback red. I'm excited for her. So I pressured my buddy to sell her to me over and over. She was actually going to be a holdback because he anticipates her being prettier than mom. So, yeah, she's going to be.
What colors will she get?
Bright red.
Oh wow! Look at that face, blood red. Oh, that's so cool. Look at the eyes. Her eyes really stand out.
Yeah, she's super pretty. She's now on my tripod. Hold on, babe. Yeah, she's awesome.
Whoa. Wait, what color are her eyes? They are they're really popping.
They're like silver.
Really? So,
yeah, they're like silver.
Darker blood red. So that's really gonna pop when she's full. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I've never seen one. She's smelling around. Look at her.
So
she's beautiful.
We I have some hopper mice in here right now because I'm trying to get the baby false waters to eat their first meal. So we have a little bit, and she's musking. It's the best thing about this species is they musk a lot.
How old is she?
So she's less than a year old, but pushing about a year.
So when will she be fully like developed and grown, where she has her colors?
These grow a little bit slower, and so I mean probably more like five is when she'd be actually like reproductive. So they're more of a slender bodied snake, so you can overfeed them really fast.
Really?
So she eats a lot of smaller meals, and then some, like every now and then, like with a lot of my boas, I vary their size and diet. So like I might, even with like my big snakes, I might feed them 2 colossal rats, and the next time I might feed them just 3 medium. You know, I change it up because boas, like their metabolism's already slow, but she's supposed to stay slender. She is a very long snake, more arboreal, but more of a colder climate boa.
What temperatures does she require?
So she like low 80s to mid 70s.
Oh,
around,
that's not good.
No. So higher elevation in the Dominican Republic, of course. So yeah, I'm excited. I've
never seen one of these. That's really exciting.
She's actually the first one I've seen in real life. I've known about this species for about 12 years now, and I've always wanted one. They're
beautiful. Are they? Is she pretty? Well, she says she's new, so she's acclimated. But are they like known to be like spicy or anything? Are they?
They can be. She's just like, as far as like defensive, like not bitey, but they just musk really bad.
Oh yeah, and I guess I haven't experienced that with
with hoggies.
Sambo.
Oh, you have a Sambo. That's right, Sambo. Yeah.
I would like to get a ball python, but like I don't want to get into breeding them, so I would want to get one that's like really visually, really pretty. Oh, yay! Oh no, my boyfriend. They tend to need lizards to get started, right? They tend to need lizards to get started.
So she's for sale.
Oh no! Look at her. So that is, what type of pied is that? See, I'm learning the morph still. Which
So
is
she's a pastel coral glow pied, and she's female. So coral glow is like a sex link trait. So it's kind of hard to explain. The simplest way is you can have female maker males. So without getting too crazy into this. So since she's a female coral glow, all of her babies that are coral glows will be female maker coral glows. So then that coral glow male can produce female coral glows. It's weird. It's a lot. So,
yeah, that's like a lot, because it's like, I think for me with the panther chameleons, it will average out to be like 50-50. Sometimes clutches are really male heavy or sometimes female heavy, but it usually averages out to be about 50-50. And there's nothing you can.
Yeah, so when it comes to like the coral glow stuff, it's not 50-50. It's is your male coral glow a female maker or is it a male maker? So everything. So say we had a male coral glow, and again he was a female maker. Every baby. So say we had 4 eggs. So say 2 of the 4 eggs were coral glows. They would be female coral glows, and then everything else would be male. So say we hit, I don't know, just a regular pastel and then a normal. Those would be girls, but then the coral glows would be females. And so you could raise up those females, and then all the coral glows that she would produce all the coral glows would be male, and then those male coral glows could produce. It's okay. And everything else would be, she's all over the place. She's going to be eventually a zoo-to-you animal, so she's not there yet.
You're
a little bit more handling.
A little bit more there.
She's still little. I wouldn't trust her with a little kid. Not that she would bite, but like she's just still a little flighty. Come on. Okay, I'm back.
You have like awesome setups. I can tell behind you right now. From what I see, I can see like really awesome setups.
So so I've kind of changed a lot. We're downsizing animals. So like I said, we're not focusing so much on breeding this year. We're focusing more on the educational side of things. And so I have a lot of friends who do really, most of my friends do a lot of bioactive stuff, and I just have not mastered that yet. So I also have friends that do like the naturalistic inserts. So they have like the foam board, and they get bark and tree limbs and all that stuff, and they make it look naturalistic. So I'm really trying to, since I'm trying to up my TikTok game as well, because that's mainly what I at least promote myself on. Trying to get a lot of these have naturalistic backgrounds and lights. So each one of these is like a lot of my bigger constrictors and stuff like that. This is my tegu. I'm trying to get all the natural lighting and then having naturalistic backgrounds and maybe try to dabble in bioactive again. It's just right now, I have not mastered it, and I am killing so much isopods and springtails. I don't know why.
I'm going through them so fast. I mean,
I think it's just too warm in here.
Yeah, well, you have all the different heat. I mean, it gets very warm. I know, like in the room, I have my bearded dragon, derp sickle, and then my leopard gecko. I know that isn't a fun name.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
I also have my dubia roach and the giant Madagascar hissing cockroaches in there. So, because I'm sure, I never thought.
No, I need to as well. I need to get back into the dubia game.
Yeah, but I'm trying to the bigger boys right now, and man, like they're slower at every seems like reproducing too. But it's warmer in there now because I had them they have to have 80. I forget the exact temperature, but they need to be warmer to reproduce, and even the dubias too. But it is warm. I couldn't put any of the chameleons in that room.
Yeah.
but like these guys, they enjoy it. So
Okay.
I have those are all bioactive in there, but they're all the air type of. So like I get the giant canyon isopods, but those are harder to find. I can only find them sometimes at expos or like online.
Yeah. I don't know too many people that do the feeder insect. Like I know a hand, like they feed their own, but like they're not publicly, like every now and then they're like, hey, I have an excess, who needs them? And I'm like, hey, I have geckos. Like, I mean, maybe, yeah. And, which again, we're kind of, I got into a bad gecko fad for a second. And,
what do you mean?
So I started just buying geckos left and right, and I didn't like crested geckos. And, I'd never had a gecko until last year, ever. And,
how many did you buy?
So I bought like 13 in a month. And then I was like, no, okay. There's too many crested gecko people out there. There's two big gecko breeders in Arkansas, and I'm like, no, don't do it. It was just
they're cute. They're cool.
They're super cute. It was just like a new drug. And
you have a fixation, you're like, and that's all you can think about. You're like, and you just like you see a post like, oh god, that white lily, like just can't quit thinking about it and get it.
And so yeah, I dialed it back. So right now I have a trio of my dark base, heavy pattern, pinstripe, empty backs with high drippy sides. Like that's like one trio. And then I have like my red base, super dowel, red spot ink blots that I'm growing up. So it's like,
that's exciting.
I really just want to have like my two geckos and just dial that in a little bit. And then hopefully at some point have the Chinese, my high tangerine Chinese cave geckos. So
no, that sounds fun.
They're cool. They're like the gothic leopard geckos.
I like the Chinese cave geckos, but so like you say high tangerine. So are they not what do those look like? Because I think I've seen just your traditional looking ones.
So it's just her bands. The bands are a little bit. I mean, they're super orange and they're a little bit bigger. So they both have like more cleaner white tails versus like kind of like a drab gray. They're just a little bit more line bred, and so they just have better banding. So I'm hoping I can have some babies in the future, as well as like I have tons of eggs of my Leachianus geckos they're upstairs.
Leeches cute.
God,
I love leeches.
I'm still mastering toques? That. Huh?
Do you have any toques?
No. No. Those things,
I'd rather not own something that wants to murder me every day.
So back in the day, when I kind of like first started, back when I was in college, and I worked at Petco or PetSmart. I did. I love my local Petco.
You can find ones that are good where like the actual workers are trying their best.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little hit or miss, but
yeah, like I mean, the store that I worked up in Northwest Arkansas, we had a super stock team. I mean, we had a fish person in aquatics. We had literally someone who bred sugar gliders in the small mammals. Like and of course I leveled up, so I would no longer like the reptile animal care specialist, but like we were stocked. I mean, we had a great team, no losses. I mean, we were a great store, but yeah, that's not everywhere, unfortunately. And I'm big on like not every big chain store is bad. They're just not. The one we just all hear about the bad ones, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, I love my local Petco, but I don't totally know where I went on a tangent with that.
It's okay. I'm bad about that.
Bad ADHD over here. Bad. But
same.
Yeah. I just need more caffeine now and I'll start calming down.
Same. Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'll go to sleep now with caffeine. It works differently.
I have bad sleeping habits already, so
I'm sure. I do too.
But yeah, I totally forget where I was running with that.
We were talking about lychees, and I said, toke. Okay.
So yes, we had toques at my store, and I did not order them, and I don't know if it was like a delayed shipment or someone else special. I don't know how that went, but I was like, I had these little kids that knew what a toque was, and it was like during the time where like we have to get the animals out, and they brought their parents, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm just gonna let you know this is not like a super friendly gecko. And they're like, oh, our kids said that they're great. And I was like, I'm letting you know, these are not good. they're not good pets. Like they're just not, especially in a pet store that they're poked and prodded and they're glass, like they're stressed out already. So it's like, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get it out. And so I got bit, and this little joker did not let go. And I'm just over here trying to keep my composure. And yeah, it was bad.
You're like trying so bad not to cuss in front of like the parents and the kids. Like,
that's like the worst thing the Army did is I dropped the F-bomb and I use it as a comma a lot. So yeah, I was not happy with those kids, and I would remember them every time they came in. I was like,
you mother, get away from here. Like,
that's how, that's how it was. But yeah, that's my.
Or you like to draw blood and break the skin, like as you're like, hey, here's.
It wasn't like a small one. It was definitely like a wild import too. So.
Were the parents like, oh, or do they start fighting?
I was like, I told you it's not a good pet. I was like, how about we get a leopard gecko? Like,
you're much better. No, my daughter, man, she get bit by my leopard gecko, and she's sweet. But she was given warnings. I'm like, the leopard gecko, Euphoria is her name. I'm like, hey, you're moving around too much, like, because Amelia, like, she's a lot like how I was, but she like stems when she's holding. She'll be like, like stemming, like, and she's holding the gecko, and I'm like, hey, let's calm down.
Yeah.
And she bit her, and Amelia was like, and like she was like wriggling around. Didn't like really hurt her too bad. It was scared her, and it left like a heart-shaped mark. It was the cutest bite mark I've ever seen, because I've been bit by chameleons. It's like a triangle, and like it was a heart shape. But thankfully, she was like, she's like, I can't become afraid, and she, picked her right back up, and I was like, there you go. But,
yeah, that's the thing. I have a 2-year-old. He loves coming down here, and so I like. In my snake, I do have a snake rack, and so like a lot of my little stuff, my grow ups are in there, and so all the little stuff is on the bottom, and right at hand length for a 2-year-old, and like my olive python's in there, which she's little, but she's fantastic. But yeah, all my little stuff, like my babies that are for sale, like the pied I just showed you, she's in there, and I'm like, I don't need your little hands just grabbing onto them where they do something. But it is pretty cool.
So what got you into breeding and then okay, the breeding, is that still Russvegas Reptiles, or is that or were they separate, your educational and then Russvegas? Or how did you start breeding then the educational?
Yeah, so so when I was in college, before Russvegas was even a thing, I mean, I did a lot of that stuff. We're the generation of Steve Irwin. We're probably not too far off.
That's what I always say.
So Jack Hanna, Jeff Corwin, those were the people that I watched, and so
what's the other one? Steve Corwin?
Steve Irwin?
No.
Jeff Corwin.
Jeff Corwin.
Yeah, I was like, did I not say him? Like he's like
no, Jeff Gordon, because I was like, don't say Jeff Gordon, because when I was a little kid, I called him Jeff Gordon because that was NASCAR.
Oh, I didn't do the NASCAR thing. But
and then so like, yeah.
So yeah, when back way before Russvegas was even a thing, I was in the herp lab, messing with the stuff that was in the college, we started doing like educational stuff, and so I established the first herpetological society in a university in Arkansas my sophomore year. So like my whole freshman year, I had to get sponsors from the school, and we had to get signatures from like the Game and Fish, and like it was a whole thing. So got all that stuff, got my organization, my club approved through Arkansas Tech, and it's still going, which is pretty cool. So we started doing a lot of just different stuff that we had in the herp lab, and we have a lot of native species that were either collected by some of the grad students, what have you. And so we were just putting on little shows for the college. Random other students would come to our bi-weekly meetings, and so I was like, and that was kind of what I was torn. I was like, because I had 2 full ride scholarships. I had a conservation scholarship through the Game and Fish, and then I also had a full ride art scholarship to the Kansas City Art Institute. And so I was really torn, because I wanted to work for Pixar. I wanted to be the next Steve Irwin, and I was just really torn. And so I had an art teacher in my senior year who was like, oh no, I don't think you'll do it. I don't think you'll make it in the art world. And I'm like, okay. So I completely scratched it, and I was like, well, I'm going to go to Tech. I'm going to do fisheries and wildlife. And then, so of course, got the Herp Society going, the Herpetological Society. And then my home life was not was not great, and it started bleeding into me being able to focus in school. It was not good. And but my parents did support me having, I mean, I started with fish. I mean, I had fish tanks for a long time, and then we had a really bad freeze up here, and all my fish died. And then I found little red-eared slider in my garage, nowhere near water. And so I still had all my filters and all this stuff. They're like, well, if you can get it to eat, you can keep it. It was around my birthday anyway. So I got little Vern to eat, and so then on out, I was like, okay, it was turtles. I was obsessed with turtles. I still love turtles. I have 3 different turtles now, and so then I started collecting, and my tanks just started getting bigger, and then I went to college, worked in the Hurt Lab. Then I got to work with snakes, and I'm like, because I couldn't work with snakes, even though my mom and my uncles, they were around big snakes, because my grandpa was a big reptile guy too. In the
so it's like generational.
Yeah. So in the 70s and 80s, my mom and my uncles were raised around stuff, and then my dad's grandma, she owned an exotic pet store in Branson, near the Landing. So yeah.
I'm trying to think, because I mean, it wasn't there. How long ago did they close that?
Oh no, well before we were born.
Because you're talking the Landing. I was like,
yeah, before the Landing was there, it was like the historical Branson.
I remember before the Landing.
Yeah. So it was you know where like the 5 and Dime is?
Yes.
Across.
So it was there?
Yeah, across the street.
It's like old. Yeah. That's so cool.
So
that's cool, because what it looks like now, like you would never even.
Yeah.
Different.
But yeah, so I mean, I had wildlife, animal keeping on both sides, and then my parents thought it was going to be kind of a phase, and my parents come here now, and they're like,
what's going on?
You make money doing this now? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I do.
Dude, my parents were not at all into reptiles, and so like when I got this guy, first of all, they see all the chameleons, like all you do is play with chameleons. I'm like, I'm not playing with them. Like,
I don't really get to play with anyone anymore. There's too many.
But when I got this guy, and he's a male, so he's gonna get like 15 inches. Like my mom was like, I just sure hope you know what you're doing. I was like, what?
Yeah, like, I mean, I definitely get that too, because my grandma's still alive. Yeah, my grandma's still alive, so she remembered. Like, I have a little bit of piece of my grandpa, and so I have like over here, I have a lot of his books that he had when he was still alive, when he was keeping, and then I have some of like his old wildlife encyclopedias. So I have a little bit of him in here, which is cool. So my grandma saved it all, because she was like, well, he's like really into this now, and so yeah, she saved it all for me. So it's kind of cool, my own little personal library, and little bit of him, but yeah. So we'll fast forward a few more years. I was still at Petco, and someone dropped off this ball python. The snake's name was Elmo, and I was like, hey, I could get a snake, you know, I work here. So I ended up getting Elmo, and then I renamed it to Monty, because I'm super clever, because I'm 18, 19 years old, and because no one else has a Monty python. And so I rescued one. I had to put air quotes, because I really don't like that word, rescued. Too many people are rescuing animals, and I'm like, it just gets thrown out there too loosely. And an animal ambassador. I don't like when people actively throw that out, because just because you bought something from someone doesn't mean that you actually rescued it, because you could actually be giving it a worse home. I just see that too often in the Facebook groups. And when people,
Facebook fun.
I don't post a lot anymore. I don't. But and then animal ambassador. For me, I have animal ambassadors. I'm actually doing education a lot, and you just bought an animal. That's all you did. You're not doing anything with it. You're not teaching anyone. That's not an animal ambassador. You're now, because this is, I mean, you get it. This is an addictive hobby. It's highly addictive.
Oh gosh, like I said, I'm like, I want a ball python now. I want a male, so it doesn't get too big. But
I got you. I got you. So I have a few males probably you can. But yeah, so like for me is like, I didn't like that. But anyway, so I did rescue one, and I got it off Craigslist. It was in a bad spot. They're like, hey, I can no longer take care of this. And I was like, sweet, I can do this. I can get the whole new setup. Well, I was about to go off to boot camp, and so, but I was about to go out of town with my friends before I shipped, and so I took both of my snakes out. I was trying to, not just put them in one tub. So I cleaned up their whole tank. You know, everything got done. Well, they were locked up, and these were supposed to be. I didn't know the sexes, and I was like, well, I clearly one of you is a girl, and
oh dang.
so Monty, I didn't know what an ovulation looked like. I didn't know any of that stuff. Well, I hit her ovulation just right, and literally 45 days later, I had
accidentally
eggs.
got into breeding.
Yeah, accidentally,
You're
completely on
trying to do
accident.
them right. You're like, okay, here you go. I'm gonna make everything better for you guys. Like, yeah, you are. Like,
Yeah,
just
like you guys like had two just totally dope setups. I just wanted to put you guys on things so I could go out of town, and came back locked up.
Like,
I got eggs, and I sold. I happened to sell just an egg, just a random reptile egg for $25. They were all fertile.
you just have a random reptile egg too. Like, I'm like, this is egg. Just right children.
I just have my zoo to use, so I mean they're like right here. But I have a lot of visual aids that the kids get to touch. So
that's awesome because it's so important.
well, it's cool because I get to talk about the difference between bird eggs and reptile eggs being soft and pliable versus hard and thick like a chicken egg. So they kind of get to see, and I get to talk about like a little egg tooth and how that's just a little scale at the tip of their nose.
What is that from?
This is from a falsie. Here, I'll show you a baby falsie.
Hey, I get to see so many animals tonight. So I'm trying to get my boyfriend to come get Derpsicle so I can get one of my other cool things out.
So they're a little spicy.
Ooh, but spicy's fun.
Spicy is fun.
Wait, so you said these are they are venomous or they're not?
They are technically venomous. They're rear-fanged venomous. Nothing mildly venomous. So it's kind of like So same thing. So they have to chew and envenomate. But this is a brand new falsie, like a week old.
Ooh.
So
But they fan out their
So
necks. Oh.
yeah, I'm gonna get. There we go. Come on, baby. So they do it sideways. There's a little bit of a hood. See if I can't. I don't want to stress her out too bad, but
I know it's like when you want to show some off and you're like,
because like my adults don't really hood unless there's food.
Never know.
But so yeah, I mean they do the same thing like a hognose. They just they get like 9 feet, so a big hognose. But
do
they have to
get a permit for them or no?
Not here in Arkansas.
Hognoses, I know. I don't know. Do you need one in Arkansas? In Missouri, we do because they're native.
Yeah, so I don't keep anything native.
Yeah.
I do want to get a native snake for my show because I do have like corn snakes, and so it's like really the only thing. Because
I think it'd be good to get natives when you're educating people. Like, look at this snake. If you see this one, it's not venomous because so many people like they see a snake like and they're like do something they shouldn't do.
That's a big part of my show. So that's literally how I start off my show. Before any animals are out, we literally talk. Growing up, we're talking about like cat eyes means venomous, diamond shaped heads mean venomous, and like I kind of we talk about how king cobras, which is related to the coral snake, they're both the lapids. They have round pupils. Pythons, they have cat eyes, but they're not venomous, So I kind of have to reteach even some of the adults.
Yeah.
That
pit viper. It's mostly pit vipers that we have that are like in the family.
Yeah. So like here in Arkansas, we have 6.
Okay.
We have 6 pit vipers and then the coral snake, which in Central Arkansas we don't have the coral snake.
I don't know where we have our coral snakes at in Missouri. I've never seen one. I've caught them out. We do.
Really?
But I mean, it shows up. I'm betting you that they're probably way further down south, closer to like Arkansas, maybe.
So I know we have them.
One.
I've never seen one, and I've seen them in captivity, but I've never seen them. But they don't do well in captivity. I think it's just hard for them to.
That's so pretty. Look at that. That's okay. I see that. It's a little bit.
They have like the prettiest bellies, though. I love like all the little dots.
That's so pretty. Where are they native to?
So these are also known as the Brazilian smooth snake. So Brazil.
Brazil.
And they are soft.
Beautiful.
They are super super soft. So
like softer than like ball pythons or
much softer. Yeah, their scales are kind of long too. So I'm gonna put.
So when you say soft, like in my head, I picture I feel like geckos soft the way they are, and I feel like this is like really smooth.
Yeah, so
what I'm holding.
They're almost like geckos. Like I would almost in comparison to like almost velvety, while like with like the falsies, I'd get her out, but I think she's about to double clutch. So she's chilling. She's actually right here. That's her face.
I can zoom in, but I can't. I see her. She was moving around a lot a little bit ago. When you got up the first time, she was like all over. I was trying to get my boyfriend to come down and get Derpsicle, and I could get out one of mine.
They are super observant. Super observant. Like, she's one of my funnest snakes to feed. I mean, because they beat their prey up.
They beat it up.
Yeah, they beat it up bad. I mean, it's aggressive. Like, I mean, it's just being slammed everywhere, kind of like like an indigo snake. I mean, they beat it to death. So even frozen thawed, they still beat it to death. It's awesome.
Oh my god!
There is a sick satisfaction.
I mean, the most I get is like I'll put like some soldier flies in their enclosures, and they're like, "Oh God!" And they're just like, you've never seen a chameleon move this fast until you start to put like flying bugs in their enclosure.
Maybe that's where I also went wrong. So I've had chameleons, and like right now, my life is just a little. I'm too busy, and I don't think Whitney would be. Now I think she would. She loves seeing chameleons. I think that might be still too much for her. So
yeah. I mean, once you get it set up right.
Yeah. So if I put it on a timer, because she's not scared of bugs or anything like that. I do think if something were to go wrong, she wouldn't know, which I don't blame her. This isn't her thing. So she loves doing zootius, but she's a big supporter. I mean, she knows that this is my thing, but yeah, I don't think she would be ready for something like that. I don't know. I want a panther. I had a female panther. And it's not a male, and I would like a male.
Males.
Well, let's just do a male swab. You have some probably pretty high end panthers. I have some probably of equal value snakes.
Okay, so when people gawk at like the pricing, now when I get to my Abanja line, they will be more expensive because Abanja locale is more expensive. But like my most right now is gonna be 700, and people are like, oh, I would never. And I'm like, I've been to expos where I've seen like $30,000 ball pythons. Like I've seen crazy expensive ball pythons, and I'm like, now mine they live a lot longer, but
yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean. Yeah, I mean,
although I'm not saying like first of all, like 700 is still expensive. I'm not saying it's not, but like
it's not. Yeah, you're not. It's not
so much like in the reptile like sales. I'm like, oh man, I feel like that's like more in the middle-ish range of like even like low medium.
And like, I mean, I'll get her out.
I wish I had somewhere to put Derpsicle because I could get it. His enclosure's upstairs. I can't just go upstairs right now.
So like this, I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, just like every hobby, and like these olive pythons are not cheap. Like, I mean, I saved for this. This was a dream animal. I saved, and it's not cheap. But and if it's something that you really want, like in people, like
she's moving around a lot behind you right now.
She's probably uncomfortable. But that's another thing. Is falsies stink. They stink. And it's not them like musking. It's just their poop. And I think it's because like they have such like a varied diet. I think, and it's not just like strictly rats. I think that's why it stinks so bad. Falsie, and they're not crazy expensive, but they're not cheap either. But for like a regular, like, so all these babies, they're all going to like close friends. So all experienced keepers. So like if she has another clutch, I'll actually sell them to the public. But all of these babies they're just going to straight friends. We produced the first falsies in Arkansas in captivity. So all my friends were like, I want one. So not really going to post too much to the public unless she does, which I think she will have a second clutch.
Are they harder than other snakes
to take care of? No, I don't really notice anything different. I mean, they like higher humidity more so than definitely a ball python. They're definitely not as finicky at all. I mean, that's the thing with balls is like they can be, especially ball pythons that are kept in tanks. Ball pythons don't do well in tanks. Now you can do it, but most of the time especially even where you're at, is we still do have a winter. So it's like the barometric pressure changes, they still very much feel. And you actually have a colder winter than we do. So
yeah, I'm in a whole different grow zone here than even Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, and you need an underheat mat, like a heat mat on a thermostat underneath a hide. You also will probably need, or I don't even say probably, you will need an actual hotspot and enough cover, because in a tank, snakes they're not confident animals. They're just not. Black out the sides, and I try to, my customers, I'm like, hey, get a towel, get a piece of plexiglass if you can, and like put it on top of the enclosure just to trap in that humidity, trap in that heat, because like they will, ball pythons, and not just ball pythons, but a lot, they'll go off food from October to March, and that sucks. So like they do better in racks. The humidity is more consistent, the heat is consistent, and they live in termite mounds in the wild. So they're not just out here.
That's pretty like, oh no, they're huge. Termite mounds are huge, but are they pretty like, I guess like,
yeah, they don't want space.
Up?
Yeah, they make a small cavity, and that's where they hang out. So they're not, you get some species like these are a little bit more bold, but a lot of the Australian species are a lot more bold, especially pythons. So they still don't want a ton of space, but because like it just stresses them out. They feel too vulnerable. They feel too open if you don't have enough cover. So I always tell everyone, it's like, hey, just get some black construction paper, black out the sides, get enough bedding to where they can still make like a little burrow in their hide that has a warm spot, not a hot spot, but a warm spot, and then where they still have an actual hot spot where they can still go bask. But being that they're a nocturnal species, is like they still have the normal hot days where they're still going to seclude to their warm hide, but once that light goes off and the ambient room temperature of their tank kind of goes back down, that's when they're going to come back out. So give them enough places to hide, they'll do well. But ball pythons, they do better in tub setup, like basic tub setups. They just do. But yeah, when it comes back to like $700 for a chameleon is high. Yeah, I mean, to the normal person, because they go in and they see regular ones, or they don't see one like that's line bred. Yeah, it doesn't come from someone credible, and they're like, well, I saw it on Facebook for $200. Well, it's like, well, let's compare apples to oranges real fast.
If it's a male,
it's not the same.
No. So, the most expensive we have are the yellow giant parsons.
Those are so sick.
They're so awesome.
I've only seen two in real life, and I'm like, realistically, if I was going to get another chameleon, that's what it would be.
They live longer too, like 25 plus years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they live longer. The thing that's harder with them, obviously, so for one parson behind me, I have 2 male panther enclosures.
Yeah.
Those are 2x2x4, and that's like minimum size for them. Minimum size for one parson, female and male, is like 2 of those attached.
Yeah, that's respectable.
But then what's not harder, it's just they require a lot of water, like a lot of water. They drink a lot. They gulp water. It's like really? We have a 10-minute misting session at one point, along with multiple fogging, and then still multiple mistings. And yeah,
I believe it.
So that's what makes them a little bit more challenging in that area. They're calmer. They are not. I haven't seen a single spicy attitude, and mine are actually wild caught. They were acclimated before I got them, but they're wild caught, and they're not. They're very intelligent, very intelligent. So I mean, I still love my panthers because panthers are fun.
I mean, panthers, and it's an iconic chameleon, and everyone knows what a panther. At least they've seen one.
Yeah.
But
and that's like all the colors, and that's the thing too. Like they have so many colors, and mine.
Because I like the blue ones.
You like the I have a nosy bay male now and female, but we won't get anything from that pairing till like next year because they're still juveniles.
Well, maybe
right now.
Then that would be perfect for me since they incubate forever.
Yeah.
I hate waiting on gecko eggs, especially like leeches. I hate. Oh God, 120 days. That's a long time. I know. It's not the same. For me, being a snake guy, 2 months is 58 days. That's I finally got to a point where I have patience for snake eggs. But man, I got to the geckos and I'm like,
and it's like 1 or 2 eggs they lay, right?
Yeah, but they lay them like every month for months.
Oh,
like
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I have like 6. So like I said, I'm still learning. I'm still learning the gecko stuff. But
I have a gargoyle gecko and a leopard gecko. My son wants to breed the gargoyle gecko, but
I love my gargoyle. He's got big. Like I thought for a minute, I was like, man, you're not. He just did a big growth spurt, and he's really. I need to get him a girlfriend like time now because he's getting big. But again, I'm only gonna. I gotta find him the right girl. I'm not gonna buy.
Yeah, that's what you gotta be picky about it. Don't go for the deal. You gotta find just the right. I've seen some of the gargoyle where they're like orange, where they have like orange blotches and they're almost like white.
So I have a super blotch.
Is that what it's called? I don't know the morphs yet. I mean, I gotta take care of them, but I don't know the morphs and everything.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can't get him real fast. He's not the best handleable one.
Yeah, but you're pretty chill.
He's not bad, but he's not like my crested geckos.
Now I'm gonna have to show Koopa off. He was shedding last time I brought him out. He's like, man, Mom, this is mine. And not shedding this time.
Come here,
Oh. Dude, you are so chill.
Yeah, I wish mine was that chill.
Yeah, this one's chill.
All right, let me get your stick out. Come here.
You need your fruit today.
So he's a little bit fired down, or a little bit fired up.
Where are you? Ooh, look at him. Koopa, don't leave. Don't press my mouse button.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty. Look at those eyes. I can't get over their eyes. I can't get over how they look like such little dinosaurs. I think like they look like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
Oh, they definitely have like from that movie, the first one where they kind of get the close up. Yeah.
Yes, you know I talked about that scene where it's in the egg. That's what I think your face looks like.
Yeah,
or there's a caiman. I'm gonna put you up, buddy.
Yeah, he's gonna need a little bit more, but I really do like these.
They're cool.
I did buy him on a whim because I was like, well, I have lychees and but I was like, I love the big ones with the horns, and I was like, okay, I just got to get one of these, and like, if I don't breed him, that's fine. He might be a zoo to you animal one day, but I just want him to be a little bit bigger.
And Euphoria. So the breeder I got my leopard gecko from, like she did buy Amelia, but the breeder would like touch their tails when they were young to get them used to that, so they don't freak out and like lose their tails, you know, because she knows that leopard geckos are usually going to go to somewhere where there's kids.
Yeah,
so I thought that was a good idea.
And that was like another thing is like with producing so many because they have so many babies.
What's the hardest species you work with, or like the most difficult or finicky?
Most finicky.
Hardest husbandry. You're like, oh.
Geckos are the most. I think I'd honestly say like my geckos are the most. No, my Mata turtle.
Your Mata turtle.
Yeah, so having the water parameters just right, making sure that it's got enough tannins.
So, because that's like almost like having an actual aquarium, but you have your instead of fish, you have.
He's awesome.
I didn't know that until kind of recently that you actually have to watch your levels of the water with some turtles.
Can I turn my camera around? Is that a thing?
I don't know on this. Like I can't because I have the webcam and I can't. It's attached to my computer. Oh, look at that water, so clean. That water's very clean.
Can you see him?
Can you use your like? Oh, wait, yeah, he's right up front.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look. kind of looks like like the snapping turtle with a shell. I know it's not.
Yeah, so he's a Central American turtle, and but instead of having like a traditional beak like a turtle does, they suction feed. So they have the really wide mouth, and they have this little snorkel nose, so they're fully aquatic, and they just open their mouth and suck in all the water, and then they get their fish, and then they expel it, and you can see the little bubbles come out. But it's fast. I mean, it's within a blink.
Fish?
Yeah.
You have them goldfish, or is it like feeder goldfish? Or
yeah, they just kind of vary, whatever I can get. So.
Like the goldfish are kind of like, what is it on their scale? Like what they produce, like you can't keep other. Well, it's a disease, but with goldfish, you really shouldn't have other species of fish. Like if you have an aquarium, because
so goldfish are just gross. So
yeah, they're disgusting. Like they're cute.
So their poop can raise the pH, like skyrocket the pH, and so they don't, unless you have other species that have higher pH water. You should only keep goldfish by themselves.
I used to have these cichlids. I kept OB you're like, yeah, I had OB peacocks and haps.
Yeah.
And I had a 180-gallon acrylic aquarium, and they're beautiful. Man, that was a heartbreaking hobby because you get your favorite fish, and then they're the tank boss. Like, I don't like that. Yeah. You wake up. Gone.
When I started keeping animals, my mom and my stepdad, which they're like not in the picture. They both were fish people. So before I got into my turtles, the same tank that I started with, I mean, my birthday was coming around. I mean, I was getting different kinds of, ghost knives, and I mean, I had a cool fish tank for a kid, and so they were all about it, and I learned, I learned a lot, just being a fish kid, and then when they all passed, they all died because we lost power for like 2 weeks. And so,
oh no.
Yeah, it was awful. So, and then, I got my turtles, but, I tried to have cichlids last year, because I was experimenting with basil, which is my African side neck, or my, African helmeted turtle. So I feed him fish when I get stuff for Chaka, which is my mata. So I'm looking at him now, but he eats everything. Every fish, doesn't matter. Big fish, little fish, all the fish, he will eat it. And he does not like tank mates. So there's nothing else. No sucker fish, no shrimp, no nothing. And I did a logo. So I do under, again, the Russvegas Reptiles umbrella. I also do a lot of freelance digital artwork. I do traditional art, and I made some merch for this fish guy who's a little bit north from me, and he just kind of wanted to like rebrand himself, and so I took his old one and I kind of just modified it and made it a little bit more, just made it a little better, and so he paid me in fish, and because I was like, man, I've never had cichlids. I've owned dozens of different species in my life, but I've never had a cichlid tank, and I was like, my turtle just eats everything, and so I was like, where he's found, cichlids are going to naturally be found. And I was like,
you got South American cichlids?
No, so these were all African cichlids.
They were African.
Yeah. So I'm just sorry. I got to look at Basil when I tell this story, because he ate like $200 in cichlids in 48 hours.
He goes, man, you got me some that good. He's like, this is some high-end food here. I came in, so I had a big one, like a big electric blue. And it was the biggest one. I was like, surely Basil's not going to eat this turtle or eat this fish. Came in the snake room, turned the light on, turned the turtle tank light on, and he was just like, and then bit his whole face off. Oh, but he saved it for you. I was like, that was the one I just didn't want to witness. I was like, it's coming. I don't know where to put this fish at this point. And I was like, he's picked them all off. And so he was hunting them throughout the night. And I was like, well, yeah. He was like, I'm gonna be bottomless pit now. It was bad. How fast did they go? Oh, like there was 12 of them, and in 48 hours there was 0 of them. I was upset. I said a few words. Remember those comma words I was talking about?
Yeah.
It's not. I'm like, it's not. I mean, first of all, I laugh and when I shouldn't laugh all the time, which I wish I didn't. But like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I'm just thinking the frustration. Some of those, I know we had some. I mean, I did have a $500 fish at one point.
Yeah.
So I would have definitely. I've been like, I'd been.
Yeah, I didn't have time to like bag it up because I mean I have a normal job too. Like I don't do this full time, and so
Oh god.
yeah, so I didn't have time to like take it, go back up north, give him like, hey man, I don't want this fish to die. Like I just, yeah. So I mean, I still have a normal kind of 9 to 5, and then still have the guard, and then I still do Russvegas, and then that's if I have commissions, and then I'm a dad and a husband. Like I mean, yeah.
You said lots of caffeine.
Lots of, you know what? Let's take a sip now. So.
Hey, I got my coffee. I'm drinking some. There's no caffeine in what I'm drinking, which is odd. I usually have an energy drink right now.
Yeah, I usually have a Red Bull or a grape nos.
It's a grape nos.
I love the grape nos, but I don't think they do much.
I can't drink Red Bull because for me, like Red Bull needs to be paired with something else too.
Yeah.
So I can't.
I don't generally like the taste of Red Bull. It's like really the only energy drink right now that does anything. So I don't get it for the taste.
I'm at that point.
Yeah, I don't get it for the taste. The grape nos is just my favorite flavor, but I think I had that so much for so long. I probably did build up some kind of caffeine.
Oh no, so I don't get the headaches at this point.
I drink a lot of coffee though, like throughout the day. I mean, I constantly have coffee.
Same here.
So, but yeah, so probably Chaka is probably my most high maintenance animal that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably the most high maintenance outside of my kid.
Outside of my kid.
Yeah.
No, that's true. I have 3: a 6-year-old, 4-year-old. Oh, 5. She just turned 5, and he just turned 3. Both in June. So yeah, I understand that. It's like constant. Which now my oldest, they're helping me, so that's so sweet. Eventually
I'm in the one and done club.
Yeah, eventually you're gonna get that where they start helping, and it's just so sweet. Like I'll find a meeting downstairs, so she'll actually put my headphones on, and she pretends to do this, and I'm like,
yeah,
so sweet.
Callum he's learning. He's still a little rough, but he's learning. His favorite 2 snakes right now are the olive python that I just had out, the Australian olive, and so you being more of a lizard person, are you familiar with
familiar with what?
Parthenogenesis?
No. See, I mean, I like reptiles, but I started with the chameleons, so I didn't really. I've always loved reptiles.
So I never thought, probably even in all of my days of doing this, I had a partho litter, which means there was no dad involved in the making of these babies. So I last summer I came home, or I came in here right before I went to work, turned the lights on, and I noticed there was something in my giant boa constrictor's enclosure. My biggest snake, she's the biggest snake that we have. And I was like, what is in your enclosure? I was like, that's a weird poop. That was the only thing it could have been at the time. I was like, weird poop, maybe like not a healthy looking poop at that. But I go in there and I was like, there's babies in here. So she had 27 unfertilized ova. There was 3 stillborn and this little girl. So mom split her DNA and had babies with no daddy. So both copies of her DNA are mom still.
I didn't know they can do that.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of geckos out there that all of them are female.
I know some geckos, but you're.
Yeah, so it's rare. It's possible in snakes, and yeah, I never thought it would happen to me.
Is it only like live bearing? Or
so I don't know. I don't know if pythons can do it. I would imagine.
Well, what type of geckos that do it? Do they lay eggs or are they live bearing?
No, they're eggs. Yeah, they have eggs.
Well, they lay eggs. What?
Yeah, so they're still laying eggs. So yeah, I guess maybe even pythons too. I don't know anyone personally that had a partho litter for pythons, but I mean, I'm not a big dog, and I mean, it's not like I'm producing tons and tons and tons of animal. But I mean, the fact that I had a Partho
Crazy.
litter was absolutely insane.
Well, I definitely just learned something.
Yeah, parthenogenesis. That's the word of the day.
You have now learned a new word. And now she's beautiful. She's really
this is my kid's favorite.
I love boas. I love the way that their heads are shaped. I really do. I just don't want to have like a pretty long snake
Boas are the best because they hardly ever refuse. And if your boa refuses eating, there's something actively wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like boas, out of all the boa species that I keep,
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they have a little mustache. They're a little Hitler stash.
The way their face, I love the way their heads are shaped. Like I truly, I think I like the way they look better than pythons. I just to get a bit bigger, except for like this type, which I mean,
the derpy. It's the West Virginia cousin of the boa. That's mean. That's mean. There's now a special spot in hell for me, but.
Oh no! Wait. You live in. Never mind.
But
you're in Arkansas.
I love my boas, and I do have my I am fortunate enough that I am the last of the Arkansans to keep my favorite species. So anacondas are my favorite. I have 5. I don't recommend owning 5. They're also pretty nasty.
How big?
So Jazz was kind of my mascot for a long time. So Jazz is about 9 to 10 feet and probably about, maybe in between there any given day. Looks like he's in shed. He's looking at us, but he's in shed. I have 2 like 6 foot by 3 foot by 4 foot enclosures underneath these. So like my big boa is down here, my giant boa. And freakishly large, and then Jazz.
Like how big is freakishly large?
So she's like 11 feet and about that big, and about
all muscle
60 pounds when she's like not breeding, not underweight from having babies. Like just 55 to 60 pounds is her average weight. She's massive. So,
oh my god.
So yeah,
I think they're so cool. I know I can never keep one like that. I love, like, I remember I was like a little kid. I forgot where it was at. They like let us touch. It was like either anaconda or something. It was huge. And I was like, I was like so young. The muscle I felt, I was like, that thing's so strong.
They're expensive. I'll actually get out one of my. So I have greens and yellow anacondas, and I think I got a lot more traction when you know who Brian Barczyk is.
I've heard this name. I don't know that I've interacted.
So he unfortunately passed away almost 2 years ago now. He was like the face of the reptile hobby.
Dude, so I see him, like they post him a lot, right? Like people are sharing. Okay, yes, I do. That's right.
Yeah, he has the Reptarium up in Michigan. He has Legacy Aquarium.
Yes.
So he was one of my inspirations. Post Steve. I've been watching the vlog. All of my high school years into college, and I still watch the vlog now, but it's not the same. And I actually was on the vlog, and he's bought boas from me. We've traded snakes. He's bought snakes from me, and we did a anaconda breeding collaboration. So I was on the vlog a couple years ago, and so we brought Jazz up to Michigan, and he bred Ivy, his giant anaconda, big female, and then we actually had a baby, and that was kind of like the deal. I got some snakes out of it, and I got one of their offspring. So here's Willow.
Oh, that one's beautiful.
I know. I woke you up. I'm sorry. Yeah,
matches your bracelet. She matches your bracelet.
Yeah. So it sucks because the Game and Fish deemed these prohibited. So I can no longer use any of my anacondas for educational purposes now. So they're strictly.
Is it which states? Is it all? Or is it just Arkansas?
This is just Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay.
So they weren't always prohibited. So they were protected under the Lacey Act, during all that crap.
Yeah.
But now the Game and Fish has just flat out made them illegal. So if you didn't have them before a certain date, you had them illegally, and everyone knows that I have anacondas. Like I'm the anaconda guy here in Arkansas, and
why were they banned in Arkansas?
So apparently studies show, and I would love to see this. Studies show that they could live in Arkansas. I'm very involved in the anaconda community. No.
Like at the very, very southernest point of it, maybe?
They still have freezes. Like
yeah. There's no.
They wouldn't make it. But the Game and Fish thinks otherwise. So I'm allowed to keep my anacondas.
Because your grandfather.
They can't technically leave my property. They can't leave my house.
Wow.
So I'm just going to enjoy them for what they are. And, you know, if I ever had to stop doing Russvegas, you know, I'm like, she's going nowhere, Jazz going nowhere. I'll actually, like Mickey, he's my middle-sized anaconda, my middle-sized yellow. He's like the best yellow that I have. And then Sephora is about, 11 years old now.
I see the name tags.
So yeah, those are changing. I actually really like, so a lot of people have those really cool ones that, that's just one I can't spend my money on. They're like $12 a tag.
No. If you have that many cages, no.
Well, we work with like 43 or 45 different species and subspecies. Yeah. And I'm like, that's hundreds of dollars. Like,
yeah, hundreds.
A Sharpie works just fine for me. So, but yeah, so it sucks. I can post her. I can post them all, but I can't teach them. So I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping that I can maybe convince them to maybe get my educational permit, since I am, my biggest thing, I want to stay in compliance. I definitely am not going to break any of the rules. I'm trying to show, the reptile hobby here in Arkansas is still growing a little bit. And there's still a lot of the old stigma with reptiles. So I'm really hoping and I'm not the only one that does the reptile shows. I have a buddy who I did I did a breeding collaboration with the Falsey. So his male, Hermes, is, we're splitting this clutch. I'm really hoping maybe one day, because he works a lot. He does work with the Game and Fish with his wildlife program. But then he also has his own called A Creature Among You. And we do a lot of the same thing. We send each other leads all the time. But I'm really hoping maybe one day, if I can convince the Game and Fish that I'm doing actual work, that maybe I can get an educational permit or a conservation permit for just the family of Anacondas Eunectus as a whole. So I don't know. Maybe one day. I'm not going to completely write it out. I'm actually waiting on the Game and Fish to register all of them. So I'm just waiting on my phone call or the email saying that they're all registered. And my super dwarf retic, which she's never been in like an animal about like an actual educational animal. She's great, but retics have very much their own mind, and she can flip if she wanted to. And I have taken a bite from that, and that sucks. Even though she's a super dwarf, that bite does suck.
Yeah.
So she's good 96% of the time. I just don't need that one wrong movement or that one kid that held her too tight.
Yeah.
And an accident happened. So
that could be pretty bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it's fun. So like, we're not.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. I just, for me, I want to not have. I don't want to do anything in any negative way. I'm trying to do a lot, like being involved in my state herpetological society now. I was the president 2 years ago. I was the social media and member coordinator last year, but this year I'm kind of taking a break. I'm just an active member now. But hopefully we can kind of change the minds. And the Florida Fish and Wildlife, they're doing a very good job of influencing a lot of the southern states about how we should or what we can and cannot keep. So hopefully we can change the minds of a lot of different people, you know, at the state level for us that they're not bad. You know, I'm not against permitting, you know, but you have to, it's a give and take with your local like wildlife, or like you guys are Missouri Fish and Conservation or something like that, wildlife conservation.
Yes.
Your state agency, which, you know, they all vary. I want to be in good graces with mine, so that way I can continue to do this, and so I don't have my house raided one day.
Yeah,
but,
that would be good.
So, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy the educational side. I love seeing babies, you know, and I want to continue to do this. Hopefully my kid kind of follows in my footsteps like I did with my grandparents. So I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm starting to meet a lot of cool people, you know, even just, you know, outside of like talking with you, you know, I've been following you for a while. You know, I jump in on a lot of your lives, and a lot of your people have followed me when we've talked, and which is awesome. You have an awesome fan base. So it's pretty cool.
They're
and
fun.
Hopefully I can connect.
They're very nice. They're very nice. I love the ones that we have. I have a very good amount that are on almost every night with us, and they're awesome. And they're very good at helping. Like now that they've learned, like they're helping other people learn. It's awesome.
Yeah,
they're able to teach.
And that's me. Like, you know, I want to eliminate fears, and I want to properly educate, and, you know, like gotta break those stigmas down, because, you know, I live in the Bible Belt, and so
I understand. I understand that, and like even with chameleons, I sometimes get like looks like chameleons.
At least you niche down though. Like you picked a group. So
no, I mean when I was working at my kids. They go to a private. They were going to private preschool. It's a school too. But like when I tell people I had chameleons, they're like, what? Yeah. Like wait, what do you do?
We just did my kids' school, and they didn't know. So the school that I work at shares the same parking lot as the place that Callum goes. So they've seen me every single day. You know, we've dropped my kid off, but they had no idea that we had animals. No idea. So, so you know, summer care is going on. So a lot of my kids who have never seen me outside of my uniform, they're like, Mr. C? And I'm like, what's up? Want to hold a 10-foot snake? And so,
yeah, dude.
It was cool, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I didn't realize what time it was. I just looked. My view is a bit different than normal. Like I can't really see the comments or anything, which is just a little different.
I can't see any comments.
Yeah, and so I see the time, and I apologize. I don't think there was a show after me.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was so awesome to talk with you and to see some of those amazing.
Absolutely. Thanks. I mean, thanks for having me. It's awesome. I love doing this kind of stuff. So.
Me too. Me too. But you have a wonderful rest of your night.
You as well.
Thank you. I guess what? I don't